Hello everyone, Coleman X here, and welcome back to Mega March. So way back when, I owned Mega Man X1, and I rented X2 and X3 a lot. I couldn't beat any of the games. I was, it was pretty terrible. I was a kid. But on X1, I could probably get to the Sigma stages, and that was about it. X2 and X3, good luck. Maybe I could beat 1 or 2 levels if I was lucky. But they were fun to play, they were always the weekend rental games, so I would just play them as much as possible. Well, for a while, when you rented a game, it would come with the instruction book. These were mom and pop shops. It wasn't like Blockbuster. We didn't have Blockbuster. So anytime I rented it, it would come with the book, unless another kid rented it and stole the book or lost it, or it was damaged beyond repair. So you were really lucky if it came with the booklet. And it was just so much fun to just flip through and see other things in the game, that I couldn't get to. Or just to have part of the game with me if we had to go, to a family member's house or on a car drive or something. I would have a little bit of X2 or X3 with me. It's like, wow, look at this. Well, when other people rented the game, they would occasionally write down passwords in the memo section in the back of the booklet. Those pages finally have some use. And I loved just going through these passwords and putting them all in and seeing if any of them were worth anything, Because, if I'm lucky, I'll end up getting a password that gives me weapons I've never used before. Or, look, I've got all the capsules now, or just, something. It was really cool. But then one day, there was this brand new password in X3. So, I tried it out. All the Mavericks are defeated. Got all the capsules. Probably got all the hearts and sub-tanks and armor. Just everything. So I'm like, whoa, this is all I ever wanted. So I would just fiddle around here and there before going to the Doppler stages. It's because I've got all this power on my hands now. I gotta use it, But eventually, I decided to go through the Doppler stages. I'm like, well, I'm never going to beat these, but, why not? And back in that time, the pre-X4 era, playing as Zero was like the most novel concept that ever happened. So with X3, I would always switch to Zero as much as possible. Because it's like, I'm someone different. I've got a cool sword. I'm beating up the bad guys. I'm so strong. Just don't die. So I would play with him every chance I got, and then every time you get to a boss door, X would chime in, Zero, I'll handle this. It's like, no, come on, let me keep going. But I would keep trying because maybe one of the doors will actually let him through. That'll happen. But might as well try. And to my utter surprise, I got to Doppler 2. Playing as Zero, get to a boss door, expect X to chime in, and the door opens. Zero walks through, and then gets attacked by a mosquito. And I'm freaking out now. I'm like, oh my god, I'm fighting a big thing. I'm Zero. I'm gonna hit him with a sword. It was a hard fight, but I finally beat the boss. And then watch the scene that happens. Mosquito falls on top of him, and Zero... Zero's he's out of commission. I was pretty upset. But then X swoops in, and then Zero gives X the Saber. And I know I've said this a lot, but it was the single coolest thing I had ever seen in my entire life. Because X swung the Saber, and the blade shot off, and it would just wrap around enemies. And it was so cool. So I probably played for the rest of the day, and I was actually able to beat Sigma. This probably took 1,000,000 tries, but I had that sword. I wasn't gonna lose. And it ended up being the first X game I ever beat. And then you get to the end, and X says, damn. And I was in shock. This was the first damn that I had run into in the series. I think it happened before I saw it in X4. Pretty sure. But you know, X is a good boy. Like, why is he swearing? And I couldn't believe that he actually, you know, would swear. So I convinced myself that he got to the dead end and looked out a window and he saw the sun coming up and he said, like, he was like shocked. He's like, it's dawn? You know? He's like, oh man, I've been fighting all night and the sun's coming up. And then I had to ask my dad. I was like, is D-A-M-N a bad word? And he laughed and said yes. I was like, oh my god, this changed my life. Good people can say bad words. But it was so cool. Oh man. Just doing that and accidentally finding the saber for 0. I later saw in a magazine how you were supposed to do it. So when I got better at the games, I was able to, you know, just do that whenever I wanted. But at the time, you know, like, that was the biggest secret in a game that I'd ever seen, and it was so cool. And looking back on it, I bet that password had access to the hyperchip, but I didn't even know that was in the game. So, like, that would have been probably even cooler if I found both of those things. But just stumbling on the saber was just, I don't know, it made it worth it. It made sucking at the game worth it. But yeah, that's it. And this is the last episode of Mega March this year, so thank you so much for coming and just checking these out. I know it was a bit different this year, but I hope you liked it. There's a lot more fun stuff to come in the future, so I hope you check it out. Thank you to everyone that was a part of this. I really couldn't have done it without all the help from everyone, so please just follow everybody that was involved in any of these videos. You won't regret it. And I will see you soon with more stuff. Bye-bye.